Hey there everyone, Mazarok here, and today we're discussing Guardian Druid 10.2 tier set. What is it? How is it going to feel going from 10.1 to 10.2 tier sets? Is it better? Is it worse? How's the playstyle going to feel? Disclaimer, I'm not talking about whether this is going to make the spec meta or anything like that, because that always ends up just being a numbers game, and disclaimer for the PTR, numbers change all of the time. But looking at what the core set does and where they're intent on going with the playstyle of the class is very, very important to be discussing very early on. So, number one, what is it? 20% of your, well, 20% of your damage and healing and 100% of the armor you gain during Rage of the Sleeper fuel the growth of Dream Thorns, which wreathe you in their protection after Rage of the Sleeper expires, absorbing 10% of the damage dealt to you while the thorns remain. 4-piece. Each 40 rage you spend while Rage of the Sleeper is active extends its duration by 1 second up to 5 seconds. Your Dream Thorns become Blazing Thorns, causing damage absorbed to be reflected back at the attacker. Alright, so there's some stuff to break down here, because we all know that the 10.1 tier set is really, really strong. Increases Thrash, increases Mangle, increases Raise, increases all of our big portions of our physical damage, right? And this is going to a Rage of the Sleeper style tier set where it's very, very focused on this, obviously, because if you don't even take the button, you're not getting anything out of this. The big good thing here that I have to say about this, and I'll get it out of the way, is a 5-second extension to Rage of the Sleeper is actually incredibly nice and does feel really, really good because Rage of the Sleeper is a defensive, but it is also an offensive. So we're getting a lot of capabilities out of this, and in my testing, where usually I would see Rage of the Sleeper damage pretty low on live right now, this was starting to climb the charts and competing for that top 4 spot percentage-wise, right? Which is really, really nice when you stop and think about it, because it is also, it's just an all-around damage amp. The problem comes with a couple of things here. The absorb, after the the absorb and the reflect that happens after Rage of the Sleeper ends seems to be like backlotted, and Ursoc's Fury seems to always take precedence for absorb damage, which means the reflection from Rage of the Sleeper doesn't really occur that much, and the numbers on the healing and the damage are all pretty low, which is not really fun. At the end of the day, this is kind of seeming like a Rage of the Sleeper extension for 5 seconds. Like, that's going to be your main benefit, which is pretty boring and not that great. There's a lot more nuance to this that I'm still in the testing gearing of being like, okay, what does this do? What does this do with this build? And of course, I'm trying to get these videos out a little bit quick to get people thinking about this as well. One of the things with Rage of the Sleeper, though, so like I said, Ursoc's Fury takes precedence. The Rage of the Sleeper absorb is not really small. It's actually kind of large and gets pretty large in the hierarchy that you go. The issue is you're constantly pressing things like Razor Maul and single target or AoE single target, and you're constantly pressing Thrash, refreshing that Ursoc's Fury shield, meaning that absorb shield tends to stay there a lot longer. But the higher key that you go, the more that's not going to happen, and you're just going to take damage, right? If you're in a low key, you're just going to end up sitting on the Blazing Thorns shield, Dream Thorns shield, for a while before it really kind of dissipates and goes away, and you're not going to see a whole lot out of it. But in higher keys, where you're actually going to take damage, you're going to notice this go away. But you're obviously not going to want to, I think hitting Barkskin after Rage of the Sleeper ends is not going to be what you want to do. You're really going to want to pay attention to this absorb and allow it to go down and really allow it to blow through. So like rotationally, what I would think is hit Rage of the Sleeper, it ends, you get your absorb, and then tracking your absorb, the moment it's gone, you hit like Barkskin rotationally, right? To kind of keep everything going. And I don't know if that's the right play. Things are very, very weird with this one. I don't want to go into too deep of opinions, but all in all, just to sum it up, it's kind of boring. It's uninspired. I think a big fix that they could make for this is allow the Blazing Thorns, Dream Thorns barrier shield to take precedence over Ursoc's Fury, and this would gain a lot of defensive value, because while that Rage of the Sleeper absorb is breaking itself down, you would be able to easily stock back up onto an Ursoc's Fury Shield as your backup and just add a lot more to it without really breaking Bear. A very positive thing about Bear right now is their toolkit. Their kit is incredibly strong. Their spec tree is in a really good spot. Their damage is good. You're going to be losing out on the healing aspect of the tier set, but at the end of the day, that's not really huge. Frenzied Regen and Ursoc's Fury is going to do the big, heavy lifting of your set. The class tree is still in shambles for Bear, so I'll take the time to say it now. Please make Remove Corruption infinitely easier to get to and not make me have to take 7 talents that I don't have to, can't use, or have to find a stupid spot in a key to use Sunfire. If you watch my stream, I have something called Mandatory Sunfire, where I find one spot in every single key where I go boomy and I hit Sunfire just to say that I used the talent, and it's the stupidest thing on the planet. Like, I admit it, it's stupid, but it's funny, and I do it because I don't like wasting talents. So, if I take Remove Corruption, I'll find a spot to use Rejuve and Swiftmend. It'll be stupid, it might get me killed, but I'll use it. And that sort of gameplay is kind of stupid, but that's my little, class tree rant. So all in all, this is very easy to keep up, by the way, the 5 seconds. If you think the 40 Rage while Rage of the Sleeper is active is so incredibly stupid easy to get your 5 seconds, you will pretty much get there in the first 4 seconds. Like, you're gonna have a 5-second extension all the time, pretty much just by hitting Iron for naturally and a couple of raises. Like, it's really not difficult at all. This tier set is very easy to activate and keep activated. That's what I have for you today for Guardian Druid. Have yourselves a good one, everyone. Happy tanking. Bye.